Hey there, party people. I love a party. Okay, so we're going to have one on Facebook Live. This is how I learned to speak man. You know how you go through those first years of marriage and you have that feeling like, why didn't somebody tell me this? You know, I could have avoided a lot of stuff if somebody would have just told me this. So I have this running joke with my friends all the time, and I say to them, I've learned how to speak man and I'm fluent. Well, I'm kind of fluent. I'm pretty good at it. I'm not fluent because I'm still learning. And plus, your man will keep changing. All right, so what I want to do is just give you a few of the tools and tips I learned in speaking man. All right, so it was about year 2, 3 in marriage. And I said to myself, you don't know what you're doing. Now, I saw a good marriage between my parents. And that was great because you kind of do need those examples. They really help. Only thing about that is having those examples really doesn't help you when you get in marriage yourself. Marriage is pretty much on the job training, okay? And you learn as you go. But there are a few things you can learn from other people. Y'all, I'm almost 20 years strong in the marriage game. Whoop, whoop, glory to God. I love being married. It is refreshing, rewarding, it's exciting, it makes me a better person, and if I can use just some of the things I've learned to help somebody else, I want to do it. Okay, so you know the Bible talks about a wise woman building her home, right? So you need tools, right? Tools. Now, most of the time you think you have to think of these tools or come up with them on your own. Other people have tools that they need to pass on down and give to folks so they know what to do when they get married. Okay, I'm gonna give you some of my little tools here. Now, the tools, sometimes to build something, you need to tear something else down. So some of the things I had to tear down when I got married was some of my preconceived notions about what marriage was supposed to be and who he was supposed to be, who I was supposed to be. All that stuff had to come down so that I can really build the kind of marriage and be the kind of wife that God intended for our marriage. Because every marriage is different. It's like unique. It's got its own brand. Anyways, okay, so I had to tear that down. So the first tool, and I'm going to warn you, this is very technical. Why is it technical? Because men are usually technical. Also, people need steps, and I love me some order. I mean, I will create a system for almost anything, and I really don't do it on purpose. It just kind of happens. I was born like this. I don't apologize. I love it. But anyways, okay, so I had this system. I didn't even realize I came up with a system for it at the time. I just happened to be laying in bed and I thought about it. I was like, I actually created like a plan on how to understand my husband because it really was a mystery. Now, I grew up with 5 brothers, but that's not the same as being married to somebody, okay? All right. Tip number 1. Read the books he reads. Yes. Okay. So whatever he reads, kind of read up on it a little bit. Shh, don't tell my husband. I read every book he reads or brings into this house. He's on this new book right now. It's called What on Earth Am I Here For by Rick Warren. So when he leaves in the morning, I come down and I read the book. I'm past him in the book, but I set the book back to his bookmark and place it ever so like it never moved. I'm going to finish the book before him. Anyways, I read what he reads. So I have all these man books that I read because I was training myself. I'm like, hold on. He doesn't think like I think. He doesn't talk like I talk. His language is actually different from mine. People don't think that's real. It's real. Women and men, it really is. Mars and Venus. Okay. Books for dads. Promises from God. Man in the Mirror. Bible Answers for Men. Every Man's Battle Workbook. Think Before You Look. Every Man's Battle. Young Man in the Mirror. Because, child, I got a son. And I ain't playing. I want us to be ready. Okay, so all these books are books my husband kind of reads. I have read them too. Okay. because I was learning how to speak man, to be a student of what is going on. I am clueless to how men think. Okay? All right. Tip number 2. Read books for men, not women. You already understand you. Okay? And you probably have told everyone else how to understand you as well. Your job at this point is to become a student. Why a student? So you can be successful in marriage. And I'm going to tell you something else, because I know somebody's out there thinking, he needs to be a student of me. He needs to study me. You know what? You're going to reap what you sow. You better sow some learning. Learn. It'll help you in every realm. You know what? I now work with mostly men. And guess what? All these books have helped me, because I'm almost fluent in man. Girl, I be in the meetings with the men, and I know what to do. Okay, help you in your life. Next, do not nag about what you're reading. Because I know some of y'all going to go pick up these man books, you're going to get a little knowledge, and then start trying to school your husband. He does not need you to school him on him. This is for you, boo-boo. Okay. I want you to know that knowledge is power. Sometimes we feel helpless in our marriage because we just don't have the right knowledge. Okay, so I'm giving you some knowledge. And yes, it is work. Yes, it was work to read these books, but my marriage is worth the work. Okay, my family is worth the work. My legacy is worth the work. What I stand for is worth the work. My vows are worth the work. And if it's going to work, you got to work. Okay, next. I listen to podcasts for men. Sure do. Because my goal is to understand. I watch what he watches. Girl, I'm telling you, ESPN, the home builder shows, not all day, but I've kind of, that in school they have those Spanish immersion programs. Yeah, I kind of immersed myself in this. So I was about, I said this before, 2 to 3 years in marriage when I started I don't know what I'm doing. So sit on the couch. My husband watches ESPN shows, PT.1. Now, I personally love Pardon the Interruption. That's a really great show. So I've learned to like that. All right. And the last thing, hush. Stop talking so much. Okay? Students are quiet because students are learning. I'm going to need you to learn. And hush. You talk too much. Okay? He don't need you to tell him everything. He's a grown man. All right? Sometimes the problem of why women will talk so much is because they feel like a man is not getting it. But I want you to understand, sometimes the problem is you don't get him. We can be a little arrogant thinking we know the right way for everything. Sometimes it's not the right way. Sometimes it's just your way, All right, so if you're going to be on one accord and grow together, these are tools to help you get on one accord with the person you love and said you want to do life with. All right? This is what I use. Y'all, it worked. And it's working. I'm proud of my 20-year strong gang. Okay? All right? And I'm happy. I like it. I'm married and I like it. All right, so what we're going to do on tomorrow. What do you do with all this information? Okay, I got this information. I'm reading up on him. I'm watching some shows. All these kind of things. So what do you do with the information? That's what I'm going to give you tomorrow. But for a recap, let's recap. Number 1 was what? I'm a teacher at heart. Number 1 was what? I heard you. Read what he reads. Number 2 was what? Read men books. Number 3 was what? Do not nag. Good, good. You guys are doing great. Number 4, yes. Listen to podcasts for men. Podcasts, YouTubes, TD Jakes. Y'all, I bought the whole He Motions. Okay? For me. That He Motions arrived, it said Joy Edwards. He Motions was for me. I listened to the whole thing. All right? It was wonderful. It helped my life. Girl. The last one. Hush. 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 Somebody's calling my name. Hush. That's probably the most important one. and watch what he's watching. You know, sometimes I just stare at my husband over from across the couch like this. He'll catch me. He said, girl, what you looking at? Nothing. Girl, I'm learning. I just been watching. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. All right. So, take those tools. We're going to kind of strip down the emotional part of it. Get technical. Because I want you to be proactive in your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people want to only get proactive when the marriage is in trouble. No. Be proactive. Pro means before. So these are things to help you be proactive. To live a marriage you can be proud of. To live a marriage you would want your kids to have. Do you want your kids to have the marriage you have currently? If your answer is no, you want to do something different. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about what you do with this information. I really appreciate you guys tuning in live. I am Joy Edwards, Jesus, the Gym, and Them. Bye, lambs.